So, what are the greatest game trailers we've ever had the pleasure of witnessing? Well, fear not my pedigree charmers, because I've curated a list of 15 absolute belters, ranked from great to downright legendary. Now, let's get one thing straight, a great trailer doesn't always mean a great game. Some of the titles on this list might be bang average when it comes to actual gameplay, but their trailers, timeless, impactful, burned into our skulls forever. And yes, I know a few of these technically fall into the tech demo category, but come on, the way they were dropped online, they may as well have been trailers. They built hype, they stirred emotions, they did the job. So bucket in, grab a cuppa, and let's have ourselves a good old mass debate over the greatest game trailers ever made. We kick things off with a bit of a geek fest, but one that even non-nerds couldn't ignore. Microsoft Flight Simulator is the longest running franchise in gaming history, and for years most of us thought it was dead. We were left tinkering with Flight Sim X on Steam, modding it to within an inch of its life just to keep the dream alive. Then out of nowhere, this trailer dropped and the entire gaming world did a double take. This can't be real, can it? You see, for flight sim enthusiasts, the level of detail on show here was unheard of. The realism, the lighting, the weather systems, frankly, it looked impossible, yet somehow Asobo pulled it off, and even now, years later, it's still one of the best looking games money can buy. Sure, the 2024 version may take things a step further, but it was this 2020 trailer that truly blew the doors off. It reignited a genre, it stunned a generation, and proved that even the nerdiest corners of gaming could still deliver a jaw-dropping spectacle. Now let me start this one by saying F you, Ubisoft. Watch Dogs is where the bullshit truly began. This was the trailer that gave us a jaw-dropping glimpse of the future, a real this can't be actual gameplay, can it moment, and then, like a bunch of smug bastards, Ubisoft doubled down by having some bloke pretend to play it with a controller live on stage. It was glorious, everything about it looked absurdly authentic, trees swaying in the wind, steam rising from subway grates, the leather jacket creasing with the movement, and that was before they hit you with the slick combat, high-tech spying and car crashes that would make Fast and Furious blush. This trailer had everything. It wasn't just next gen, it was next gen, but sadly it turned out to be the biggest graphical catfish in gaming history. The downgrade on release was staggering. What we saw in that trailer, a complete fabrication, and thus began Ubisoft's now legendary tradition of overhyping and under-delivering. See also The Division, Rainbow Six Siege and countless others. They turned marketing deception into a bloody art form. Still, even knowing the truth now, you can't deny how much it blew us away back then. It was a masterpiece of manipulation, and that's why it still deserves a spot on this list. Now technically, lists like these shouldn't go out of date because truly great game trailers stand the test of time, and in my mind, whether you're watching this list in 10, 20 or 30 years, chances are you'll still be hearing about The Witcher 4. Yes, I know it's only a few weeks old, but make no mistake, this trailer is absolutely groundbreaking. Every entry on this list gives you that moment, the oh shit, the sons of a bitches actually did it moment, and this one hit me as hard as the trailers I watched 30 years back, wide-eyed and slack-jawed. The Witcher 4 doesn't just look next-gen, it feels like the start of a whole new era. Sure, we've got to tread carefully until we see real gameplay, especially after the Cyberpunk debacle, but you'd hope they've learned their lesson. What we've seen so far is photorealism dialed to 11, brought to life with stunning animation and a deep respect for the lore. The environments are jaw-dropping, with so much detail packed into every crevice, crack and leaf, it borders on obsessive. This isn't just a tech demo, it's a statement, and I genuinely believe that we'll look back on this trailer as the moment the next generation of gaming truly began. Now say what you like about Star Citizen, but their trailers are absolute bangers, and let's be honest, they need to be if they want to keep those bank transfers flowing in from the loyal fan base. I've got plenty of issues with the game myself, and I'm a backer sadly, but there's no denying that the trailers are pure sci-fi crack. There are too many to pick from, truth be told, but the recent Star Engine trailer takes the crown. A continuous 24-minute shot, this thing is a flex of epic proportions. Aside from a few sped up transitions between planets, it's one seamless journey from the depths of space, through orbit, it down into the atmosphere, past cloud banks, and finally onto a planet's surface, all the way down to a bustling street market. It's jaw-dropping, a proper showcase of tech wizardry that leaves you thinking, if only the game actually played like this. But alas, the reality is a bit more janky. At times it handles like a pig with a peg up its arse. Still, this trailer embodies the dream, the promise. If they ever manage to deliver on the vision, it could well go down as the greatest feat of game engineering in history. For now though, surviving an elevator ride without clipping through the floor still feels like a bloody miracle. Now Rockstar are greedy sods and love to demonetise anything that so much as breathes near their trailers, but this one's worth the strike just to prove a point, because the GTA 5 trailer, it was epic. We were entering a new generation of hardware and everyone was buzzing with one question: what the hell could Rockstar pull off next? And by God, did they deliver? This trailer had everything you'd expect from a GTA showcase: glitz, guns, gangsters and chaos. But the big surprise, multiple protagonists. Suddenly we were all squinting at the screen trying to work out who we'd be playing as. It was cinematic, packed with jaw-dropping set pieces, massive cityscapes and a tease of yet another killer soundtrack. The energy was electric, the pacing on point and the hype off the charts. This wasn't just another GTA trailer, it was another mission statement from Rockstar. They were flexing their muscles and showing the world that they still ran the show. Fans were foaming at the mouth, and for once the trailer actually matched the quality of the final game. It set the tone perfectly and it still holds up today. Now you might be thinking I'm a full-blown Witcher fanboy, seeing as it's made its way onto this list again. I'm not, honestly, but this trailer, it's just too bloody good to leave out. It's a brutal little roller coaster. We open with a damsel in distress, noosed up and about to be strung from a tree. Enter Geralt, not as a saviour, but as a stone-cold bounty hunter, only there to collect a fee for some monster kill. Backed by a gritty monologue, we watch him size up the situation, clearly not giving a toss, until of course he changes his mind and goes full John Wick on the lot of them, limbs flying, fists flashing and heads getting acquainted with the dirt. What makes this trailer especially clever is the title, Killing Monsters, because by the end you realise the monsters aren't the beasts Geralt hunts, they're the smug, brutal humans stringing up the ladies. It's dark, it's stylish and gorgeously rendered in CGI, but more importantly, the tone, the theme and the world building on display here actually match the final game. No smoke and mirrors, no Ubisoft trickery. It's a trailer with teeth, and even after all these years, it still hits like a silver sword to the gut. It's here that we have a bit of a toss-up, truth be told, because plenty of fans would argue the Mass Effect 2 trailer takes the crown, mainly because it teases just enough of the story to whet your appetite without giving the game away. And look, they're not wrong, the trailer's a belter, but for my money, the Mass Effect 3 trailer does something even more special. After 2 whole games of warnings and slow burn build up, this trailer finally brings the Reapers to Earth, and they do not arrive quietly. Big Ben gets a laser facelift, cities are razed and humanity is left scrambling. It's the payoff we've been waiting for, and the sheer scale of the invasion is breathtaking, but what really elevates this one is the emotional hook. It zooms right in on a single child playing in a field, utterly unaware she's about to be turned into space dust. We see the Reaper reflected in her eye, and boom, that's the gut punch. That's when it hits you. This isn't just about Shepard anymore, it's about everyone. That personal angle, the raw human cost, is what gives this trailer its edge. It adds a layer of drama and weight the previous 2 never quite reached. Is Mass Effect the greatest gaming trilogy of all time? You bet your last dollar it is, and this trailer, glorious, harrowing, unforgettable. Now I'm going to struggle to show off properly the trailer here because the YouTube gods would tear me a new one if I dared play the soundtrack, but let's be honest, Mad World is the real star here. That haunting cover turned what could have been just another gore-soaked shooter trailer into something cinematic and unforgettable. It was one of the first game trailers that I remember that paired a massive mainstream hit with video game footage, and it changed the game. Suddenly, trailers weren't just hype reels, they were emotional, stylized stylized short films. The brilliance of Mad World was how it injected pathos into the chaos. On paper, Gears of War is just chunky lads revving chainsaws into bug-faced aliens, but with that soundtrack playing over slow-mo visuals and ruined cityscapes, it felt like there was something deeper, something tragic. Funny thing is, when you watch the trailer without the music, it doesn't hit the same. In fact, it feels almost generic, but slap that song back on and boom, it becomes iconic. Proof that sometimes the right track makes all the difference. My brain still can't process that this trailer is nearly a decade old. Watching it now, you'd swear it was made by a top-tier movie studio only yesterday. The original Last of Us redefined storytelling in gaming, gritty, grounded and emotionally raw without any of that slow walker nonsense you usually get in a zombie fare. So naturally, when the sequel was announced, the hype was off the charts. That cliffhanger didn't help either. And when this trailer dropped, we all collectively creamed our pants. What makes it genius is how stripped back it is. Minimal dialogue, lots of silence, long tense walking shots, and yet it oozes atmosphere and style. Through the blood-soaked aftermath of a battle, we watch Ellie, wounded, hardened, pick up a guitar and play her song, becoming the emotional spine of the trailer. It's intimate, unnerving and powerful. What really blows me away here though is the detail, the micro expressions in particular, the little subtle animations, the sheer graphical polish that still holds up to this day. It's a masterclass in restraint and mood. This is the trailer I show people when they ask, can games be as powerful as films? And yes, we have a video tackling just that coming out very shortly, because this proves it for me. Another Naughty Dog knockout, and one that's etched into gaming trailer history for all the right reasons. So every Zelda trailer knows how to wow, but this one gave me serious Ocarina of Time vibes. And side note, Ocarina is still, without question, the greatest game ever made. Come at me in the comments with that one. What the Breath of the Wild trailer pulled off so gloriously though was capturing the very soul of what makes Zelda special. It showcased epic scale, sweeping vistas and a rich mix of biomes teeming with wildlife. But it wasn't just scenery porn, it also teased the game's mechanics, world physics and that ever elusive sense of adventure, all tied together with a surprisingly solid voiceover. It felt cinematic in a way that few trailers ever do. The soundtrack too was something else, more Lord of the Rings than Hyrule, swelling with emotion and grandeur. This was a trailer that worked because every single part, music, visuals, pacing, came together in harmony. That's what she said. It marked the arrival of a more grown-up Zelda, a matured version of Link we hadn't really seen before. And for my money, it's one of the most emotionally resonant game trailers that have come to be. Even now, it still gives me goosebumps. The next one firmly lands in the what the f did I just watch category. Equal parts brutal and mysterious, this trailer sparked a whole new level of hype for BioShock. It raised 100 questions, gave us 0 answers and left us desperate to dive in. We start off appearing to play some shady Jeffrey Epstein type character chasing down a creepy little girl. Next thing you know, some massive bastard in a diving suit, what we've come to know as Big Daddy, shows up and proceeds to absolutely shred your hand with a giant drill. Lovely. But then, like it's nothing, your character jabs a syringe in their arm and suddenly unleashes a swarm of bees from the wrist like it's a David Attenborough horror special. Bees kill Big Daddy, job done, right? Except no, the trailer flips it again. Just as you think you play as the guy in the trailer, given you just survived, you suddenly get drilled right through the stomach. Dead. Game over. We were left going, who the hell am I playing? Why am I chasing little girls? And why am I full of bees? And most importantly, when can I play this madness? Back in the day, the sheer rawness of the gore, the tone and the mystery was groundbreaking. It was horror with brains, and it set the tone for a game that would go on to become a modern classic. It was absolutely brilliant. Now here is a proper blast from the past, straight out of 2006. This tech demo would go on to become the foundation for Heavy Rain, the Quantic Dream smash that helped redefine storytelling in gaming. And look, if you're a younger viewer, you might see this now and think it looks a bit shit, but back in the day, this floored people. Nobody knew games could look this realistic, feel this cinematic, or be this well acted. Granted, the actress could eat an apple through a letterbox and her face does wobble in ways modern rigs wouldn't allow, but even now, it stirs something. Back then, I must have rewatched this thing 100 times, just mesmerised by the realism and emotion, the mature short story format, the seamless scene transitions to the kitchen, the subtle soundtrack, and most of all, the eyes. Dear God, the eyes. So much emotion packed into every stare and flicker. We've all dated someone with that crazy look, and yeah, it brought back a few memories, not all of them good, but this trailer, and arguably it is a tech demo, didn't just impress, it stopped me in my tracks, and for that reason alone, it's earned a place in my top 3 of all time. The original Metal Gear Solid was already a mega hit on the PlayStation, so when the PS2 dropped, anticipation hit fever pitch. Just how good could a next-gen Metal Gear really look? Well, back in 2000, we all got slapped clean across the face by Kojima's big cinematic wong, because not only did he meet expectations, he obliterated them. This trailer was nothing short of a masterpiece. It delivered visuals on consoles that looked years ahead of their time. Snake looked the business, and the whole thing oozed that unmistakable Kojima cutscene DNA that we now know so well. Melodramatic, intense, and oddly beautiful. The soundtrack was equally sublime, elevating the drama to something that felt more like a Hollywood blockbuster than a video game. Here's the thing, gaming back then was still seen as kid stuff and teenage boys only, but this trailer marks a bit of a shift. It felt like the medium was growing up with us. For the first time, it wasn't about rescuing princesses or smashing crates. It was about espionage, war, betrayal, real themes with real emotional heft. This was gaming growing up, and it made a statement. Also, a quick shout out, the footage I've used here is from Digital Foundry, who showcased the original trailer to upscaled glorious 4K, so full credit to them for digging it up. I'll link it in the description with all the rest of these trailers if you want to watch the full thing in all its nostalgic glory. Now, before we get to number 1, I wanted to chuck in an honourable mention, and it's because it's a rare combo deal. 2 trailers back to back that didn't just reveal games, they detonated the internet. On their own, neither trailer was particularly groundbreaking in terms of visuals or editing, and what I mean by that is, yes, they look nice, but they weren't exactly poetic in what they did. But what made them iconic was when and how they were shown. First came the Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement, long rumoured, practically mythologised, and widely assumed to be dead in the water. Cue mass hysteria. Then immediately after, we got the announcement of Shenmue 3, another fabled unicorn of the gaming world, finally stepping out of the shadows. It was the 1-2 punch no one saw coming, and watching the reaction from the old Game Trailers crew losing their collective minds on camera, it is pure magic. Had they announced either of these games alone, it would have been enough to melt faces, but both back to back, that's trailer reveal history right here, people. It's a perfect example of what made E3 so special. It wasn't just about the games, it was about those once in a lifetime moments that brought the entire gaming world together in shock and joy. It's why deep down I still miss those chaotic, overblown E3 events. And here we are at number 1, and for me, this is the greatest game trailer of all time. Artistic, emotional, and hard-hitting in all the right ways. It plays entirely in reverse, starting with the haunting image of a dead little girl. As time rewinds, we see the chaos unfold around her, like the Brits and Germans fighting over hotel sunbeds gone feral. Turns out the little girl is with mum and dad, and bless them, they do their best to fend off the zombie onslaught, but ultimately fail to save her. By the time we've rewound all the way back to the beginning, we're met with a warm, sunny scene of a family enjoying their Benidorm getaway. What truly cements this trailer's place at the top is the soundtrack, a sorrowful piano melody pierced by the guttural screams of the undead. It's beautifully jarring, and the biggest twist, the tone of this trailer has absolutely sod all to do with the actual game. The trailer sort of promised something closer to The Last of Us, all emotional weight and tragic storytelling, but what we got was more slapstick, dark comedy and dismemberment galore. Why the tonal bait and switch? Who knows, but when the trailer is more memorable than the game itself, well, it earns its top spot as number 1. and that is your lot. Agree or disagree with this list? As always, continue that mass debate in the comments section, and I'll see you all again soon. Love to you all. Reggie out.